Before sitcoms became louder and faster, One Day at a Time quietly changed television, placing a divorced mother, her two daughters, and the messiness of real life at the center of the laugh track. It was warm, funny, and brave for its time. But the years beyond the credits were never written by a script. Tonight, we look back then and now in 2026 and honor the cast who helped a generation feel understood. Chapter 2. Anna Romano. Anna Romano entered television history as something rare in the mid-1970s. A woman rebuilding. Bonnie Franklin, born January 6, 1944, in Santa Monica, California, was 31 when she became Anne, recently divorced, raising two teenage daughters, and trying to shape a future without pretending it was easy. Bonnie Franklin's performance mattered because it didn't treat single motherhood like a punchline. She could be funny, frustrated, proud, exhausted, and hopeful, sometimes all in the same scene. The character carried themes of feminism and self-reliance without turning into a slogan. She simply felt real, and audiences responded because the show wasn't asking viewers to admire perfection. It was asking them to recognize resilience. Franklin continued acting after the series, but later faced pancreatic cancer. She passed away on March 1, 2013, at 69. And in reruns, Anne Romano remains more than a sitcom mother. She's a landmark, proof that television comfort can also be television courage. Chapter 3. Dwayne Schneider. Schneider was the building superintendent with the tool belt and the mustache. Quirky, comedic, and unexpectedly tender. Pat Harrington Jr., born August 13, 1929 in New York City, was 46 when he stepped into the role, and he turned what could have been a simple neighbor gag into one of sitcom history's most beloved supporting characters. Harrington's performance mattered because Schneider evolved into a father figure presence, loyal, kind, and quietly protective of Anne and her daughters. He delivered big laughs, but he also delivered heart. In a show about a family rebuilding, Schneider represented community, the reminder that survival isn't only what happens inside your apartment, it's also the people outside your door who show up when you need them. After the show, Harrington continued working, but later faced Alzheimer's disease. He passed away on January 6, 2016, at 86 due to complications from the illness. And still, Schneider remains a comforting memory, proof that the most comic character can also become the show's gentlest soul. Chapter 4. Julie Cooper. Julie Cooper was rebellion with a heartbeat. Free-spirited, emotional, and constantly testing the world to see if it would hold. Mackenzie Phillips, born November 10, 1959 in Alexandria, Virginia, was only 16 when she began playing Julie, and she gave the show a raw teenage truth that didn't feel polished. Phillips's performance mattered because Julie wasn't written as the problem child. She was written as a young woman in motion, searching for identity, love, and control in a life already disrupted by divorce and growing up too fast. The friction between Julie and Anne became one of the show's most honest engines, not cruelty, but collision. Two people loving each other while learning how to live together again. Behind the scenes, Phillips struggled with substance abuse, a battle that shaped her path and affected her time on the series. Yet her later life included reinvention, music, writing, and advocacy for recovery. In 2026, Mackenzie Phillips is 66, and Julie remains unforgettable because she captured something many teens never say out loud. Sometimes the loudest attitude is simply pain asking to be heard. Chapter 5. Max Horvath. Max Horvath entered as Julie's husband, charming, fun-loving, and suddenly part of the family's fragile balancing act. Michael Lembeck, born June 25, 1948 in Brooklyn, New York, was 31 when he played Max, bringing warmth that helped the show explore young marriage under pressure, money worries, growing pains, and the cost of trying to be grown up before you feel ready. Lembeck's performance mattered because Max wasn't a fantasy husband. He was a real sitcom young adult, good-hearted, imperfect, sometimes overwhelmed, trying to be supportive while still figuring himself out. That realism gave Julie's storyline added depth. Love can be sincere and still be difficult. After One Day at a Time, Lembeck made a successful transition into directing, shaping major sitcoms behind the camera. In 2026, he is 78, and there's something fitting about that evolution. A man who once played young adulthood's uncertainty later became one of the steady hands guiding television's rhythm from behind the scenes. Chapter 6. Mark Royer. Mark Royer brought steadiness into Barbara's world, a dependable partner, a professional, and a calm presence amid the noise of growing up. Boyd Gaines, born May 11, 1953 in Atlanta, Georgia, was 28 when he played Mark, giving the series a portrait of marriage that felt supportive rather than flashy. Gaines's performance mattered because it helped Barbara's arc feel like maturity, not just age. Mark represented stability, love expressed through reliability, patience, and showing up. In a show rooted in family dynamics, that kind of character is quietly essential. He expands the definition of family without disrupting the emotional center. Beyond television, Gaines built an extraordinary career in theater, earning major recognition for his stage work and becoming one of those respected performers whose craft speaks louder than publicity. In 2026, Boyd Gaines is 73, and Mark Royer remains a small but meaningful reminder that in sitcoms, as in life, sometimes the healthiest love is the quietest one. Chapter 7. Grandma Catherine Romano. Grandma Catherine Romano arrived with wisdom and meddling in equal measure, supportive, opinionated, and unmistakably from another generation. Nanette Fabray, born October 27, 1920, in San Diego, was 59 when she played Catherine, adding a multi-generational layer that deepened the show's emotional texture. Fabray's performance mattered because she made family history feel present. Catherine brought humor, yes, but also the tension and tenderness of mother-daughter bonds that never fully stop being complicated. She represented the past pressing into the present, the old rules, the old fears, and the old love that doesn't always know how to be gentle. Fabray's own career was legendary across television, film, and theater, and she was also known for advocacy connected to hearing impairment. She passed away on February 22, 2018 at 97, and in the world of One Day at a Time, her grandma remains a familiar truth. Family can drive you crazy and still be the place you're safest. Chapter 8. Francine Webster. Francine Webster brought workplace tension into Anne's new life, the sharp, ambitious figure who could befriend one moment and rival the next. Shelley Fabares, born January 19, 1944, in Santa Monica, California, was 34 when she played Francine, capturing the complicated reality many women recognized. Professional environments where loyalty and competition often sit side by side. Fabares' performance mattered because it widened the show's world. One Day at a Time wasn't only home life, it was also work life, the pressure of earning, proving yourself, and surviving systems not designed to make it easy. Francine's clashes with Anne weren't cartoon villainy. They were values colliding, ambition, insecurity, pride, and the desire to be taken seriously. Fabares' career extended far beyond the series, including major success on The Donna Reed Show and Coach. In 2026, Shelley Fabares is 82, and she has largely stepped back from acting. Yet Francine remains a memorable part of the show's realism, the reminder that rebuilding a life isn't only emotional, it's professional, too. Chapter 9. David Kane. David Kane was one of Anne Romano's early love interests, a caring presence during a period when Anne was still learning how to trust her new life. Richard Masur, born November 20, 1948 in New York City, was 27 when he played David, bringing steadiness and warmth without forcing romance into fantasy. Masur's performance mattered because it showed something adult and understated. Relationships after divorce are not fairy tales. They are careful steps. Two people trying to be kind while still carrying old bruises. David's presence supported Anne not only romantically but as a friend, reinforcing the show's theme that rebuilding happens through community as much as through romance. Masur went on to a long career as a character actor and became active in entertainment industry advocacy and unions. In 2026, Richard Masur is 77, and in reruns, David Kane remains a gentle memory, a reminder that sometimes a relationship's greatest purpose is simply helping someone believe they can begin again. Chapter 10. Nick Handress. Nick Handress brought a different kind of calm, mature warmth, stability, and the feeling of a future that could be peaceful. Ron Rifkin, born October 31, 1939 in New York City, was 41 when he played Nick, giving Anne's romantic storyline a quiet sincerity that audiences trusted. Rifkin's performance mattered because it made adult love feel real. Nick wasn't about fireworks, he was about presence, and when the character was written off unexpectedly, the show gained a sharper emotional edge, reminding viewers that life can change in a single phone call. That storyline deepened the series' realism. Even in sitcoms, grief exists. Rifkin built a distinguished career across stage and screen, known for major work beyond the series. In 2026, Ron Rifkin is 86, and Nick Handress remains one of the show's most bittersweet chapters, proof that sometimes the kindest love stories are also the ones that end too soon. Chapter 11. Ginny Roblicki. Ginny Roblicki was the outspoken neighbor who blew fresh air into scenes, bold, fun-loving, and unafraid to say what polite people only think. Mary Louise Wilson, born November 12, 1931 in New Haven, Connecticut, was 45 when she played Ginny, delivering comic relief that still felt like a real woman, not a gimmick. Wilson's performance mattered because a show about single motherhood needs laughter that doesn't insult the truth. Ginny's energy gave Anne breathing room, a friend who could make the day lighter without making the life smaller. Those friendships are often what keeps people afloat, and Wilson played that importance beautifully. Wilson later became a celebrated stage performer and Tony winner. In 2026, Mary Louise Wilson is 94, and in the world of One Day at a Time, Ginny remains a reminder that friendship can be its own kind of rescue, especially when life is being rebuilt one ordinary day at a time. Chapter 12, Sam Royer. Sam Royer arrived later, offering Anne a mature companionship, steady, kind, and built on adult understanding rather than teenage spark. Howard Hesseman, born February 27, 1940 in Lebanon, Oregon, was 42 when he played Sam, bringing a familiar warmth from his earlier television success into a role designed to feel safe. Hesseman's performance mattered because it gave Anne's story a different kind of hope. Not the hope of first love, but the hope of finding partnership after you've already survived disappointment. Sam's presence suggested that independence and love don't cancel each other. They can coexist. Hesseman had a long, iconic career beyond this show. He passed away on January 29, 2022, at 81 due to complications from colon surgery. And in reruns, Sam Royer remains a quiet symbol of second chances, proof that life doesn't end after divorce. It simply begins again in a different key. Chapter 13, Bob Morton. Bob Morton was young love, sweet, awkward, and sincere in the way first relationships often are. John Putsch, born July 27, 1961 in Chambersburg, Pennsylvania, was 15 when he played Bob, capturing the tender uncertainty of a teenage boy trying to be brave without knowing how. Putsch's performance mattered because One Day at a Time treated adolescence as real life, not filler. Bob's nervousness and kindness weren't jokes. They were a portrait of growing up, wanting to be confident, failing, trying again. Through him, Barbara's journey gained texture, reminding viewers that teenage romance can be both adorable and painful in the same breath. Putsch later transitioned into directing, building a strong career behind the camera on major television comedies and dramas. In 2026, John Putsch is 65, and Bob Morton remains a gentle snapshot of youth, proof that even small characters can bring back a whole era of feeling. Chapter 14, Ed Cooper. Ed Cooper, Anne Romano's ex-husband, was written with complexity. Charming, unreliable, present enough to stir emotion, absent enough to cause wounds. Joseph Campanella, born November 21, 1924 in New York City, was 52 when he played Ed, giving the show a mature realism about divorce and co-parenting rarely seen on sitcom television at the time. Campanella's performance mattered because Ed wasn't a cartoon villain. He was the kind of flawed man families recognize, capable of affection and capable of consistency. His presence created tension not only for Anne, but for the daughters who had to navigate love mixed with disappointment. That emotional honesty helped One Day at a Time feel grounded. Divorce doesn't end family, it reshapes it. Campanella built a prolific career across television and film. He passed away on May 16, 2018, at 93 due to complications from Parkinson's disease. And in the show's legacy, Ed Cooper remains an important truth. Sometimes the hardest relationships are the ones that never fully go away. Chapter 15, Jerry Davenport. Jerry Davenport was a brief chapter, charming, confident, and just mismatched enough with Anne to remind viewers that not every romance is meant to last. Charles Siebert, born March 9, 1938 in Kenosha, Wisconsin, was 39 when he played Jerry, adding an adult dating dynamic that felt believable in its imperfections. Siebert's performance mattered because it helped the show portray something honest. Dating after divorce can be awkward, full of hope and misalignment, and sometimes it ends not with tragedy, just with clarity. Jerry added contrast to Anne's emotional journey, showing her learning what she would and wouldn't accept in the next phase of her life. Siebert went on to major recognition elsewhere and also worked as an actor-director. He passed away on May 1, 2022 at 84 due to complications from COVID-19. And Jerry Davenport remains a small but meaningful reminder. The wrong relationship can still teach you the shape of the right one. Chapter 16, Cliff Randall. Cliff Randall was charmed with a cocky grin, confident, romantic, and designed to stir both comedy and tension in Barbara's young life. Scott Columbie, born September 19, 1952 in Brooklyn, New York, was 25 when he played Cliff, bringing breezy charisma that fit the show's mix of humor and reality. Columbie's performance mattered because Cliff represented a stage of growing up, the relationship that feels exciting, even when you know it may not be permanent. Through Cliff, Barbara learned about self-worth and boundaries, lessons that helped the show's young characters feel like real young women, not sitcom cutouts. Columbie later became known for comedy films and then stepped back from acting, choosing a more private life. In 2026, Scott Columbie is 74, and Cliff remains part of the show's emotional scrapbook. Not a great love, perhaps, but a necessary one, the kind that helps you become yourself. Chapter 17, Mr. Connors. Mr. Connors was workplace pressure given a face, stern, no nonsense, and emblematic of the barriers Anne faced as an independent woman building a career. John Hillerman, born December 20th, 1932 in Denison, Texas, was 44 when he played the role, adding weight to storylines about gender dynamics and professional respect. Hillerman's performance mattered because even a minor role can sharpen a theme. Mr. Connors wasn't simply a boss. He represented a system, the kind that forces women to prove competence twice. Hillerman played him with rigid authority that made Anne's victories feel earned, not gifted. He later became widely beloved for another iconic role, earning major awards and recognition. Hillerman passed away on November 9, 2017, at 84 due to cardiovascular disease. And in the larger history of television, he remains a reminder of what great character actors do best. They arrive briefly and leave an imprint. Chapter 18. Sometimes the smallest appearances help define a show's world. Daryl Morey, born March 3, 1956 in Los Angeles, played John at 22, one of those brief presences that contributed to the series' portrayal of young adult relationships and shifting friendships around the Romano family. Morey's performance matters in a quieter way. One day at a time built realism through a living ecosystem. People entered, affected the family, and moved on, just like in real life. Those moments, even small ones, kept the show from feeling sealed inside its main cast. They made it feel like a community. Morey worked across television and also became known for a cult film appearance. Later, he moved into teaching and directing, helping mentor new talent. In 2026, Daryl Morey is 70, and his place in the show is a gentle reminder. Television history isn't only made by leads, it's made by every working actor who helped the world feel real. Chapter 19. Emily was small but memorable. Feisty warmth, grandmotherly humor, and that unmistakable spark that Nedra Volz could deliver in a single scene. Born June 18, 1908 in Montrose, Iowa, Volz was 68 when she appeared, bringing decades of seasoned character work into the show's emotional fabric. Volz's performance mattered because she represented the comfort of familiar faces, the kind of older character who walks in and immediately feels like someone the audience has known forever. Even a minor role can do that when the actor carries authenticity. Volz had that gift, a voice, a look, and a timing that made small parts feel like real people. She built a long television legacy playing quirky elderly characters across classic series. Nedra Volz passed away on January 20, 2003 at 94 due to complications from Alzheimer's disease. And in the world of One Day at a Time, her Emily remains a soft echo of classic TV, proof that warmth doesn't require screen time, only truth. Chapter 20. Barbara Cooper and closing. Barbara Cooper grew up in front of the audience, smart, independent, and quietly strong in the way teenage girls often have to be when adults are also struggling. Valerie Bertinelli, born April 23, 1960 in Wilmington, Delaware, was only 15 when she began playing Barbara, and she made the character's growth feel natural. Youthful defiance becoming adult self-possession. Bertinelli's performance mattered because Barbara wasn't just the younger daughter. She had wit, determination, and a grounded emotional intelligence that often balanced Julie's storms. Over time, viewers watched Barbara mature into her own life and love, and Bertinelli carried that evolution with sincerity that earned audiences loyalty. After the show, her career expanded into acting, hosting, writing, and a public life that included candid honesty about change and resilience. In 2026, Valerie Bertinelli is 66, and Barbara remains a core piece of the show's legacy, a portrait of a young woman becoming herself while her family becomes something new. And that is the quiet power of One Day at a Time. It made real life feel worthy of television. Divorce, growing up, starting over, and learning how to keep loving through change. Some of these performers are still with us in 2026. Many have passed on, but their work remains, waiting like a familiar light in the window. If this tribute stayed with you, please like, subscribe,